Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Crystal, where we are playing Ecruteak City. This is turn 18. Let me double check. It is turn 18. Let's jump into things. Okay, so we've got a couple of things going on this turn. We had a bevy of battles last turn. Some that we lost, some that we won. We are reacting to those now. So we've hit Enchantment 3 on our way up to Enchantment 4, ultimately, hopefully up to Enchantment 5. We found nothing with Redchan 1. Lost some crippled units. We got a couple battles. Let's watch these. So Dunes of Death. Okay, so this is about 160 Ghastlies versus his big-ass fuck you army of Ruby White Belts and Mankeys. So we'll talk about this after the battles, but I think we can safely assume that something has happened. So our free spawn go out, and they start to move a little bit. The Mankeys free spawn start to move forward. As soon as they get into range, even though we're on hold and attack, the first volley comes out because they're like, oh, okay, something's in range, let's shoot. A bunch of Earth Mites coming out, which doesn't really do anything to us because Earth Mite. Oh, wait, never mind. Earth Mite's not what I was thinking of. Maws of the Earth doesn't really loading. So we do this whole freaking thing where like everyone, these people are on hold and attack, and they kind of run forward and then they start firing. Okay. Well, shit. You know? But that being said, we got about 160 units versus 200-ish units. I can very much hurt him. He has a far harder time hurting us. And this, of course, this is where I don't like it, is where we start to do the routing and we start to just fire into ourselves and killing ourselves, but we do win. Check what the actual losses were. So we lost 37 units versus his 67 units. We did not get either of the Battle Girl X's, unfortunately, but okay. This is an acceptable loss for us, right? Against as much as we were up against, that's perfectly fine, because you got to keep in mind, we killed 67 white belts, but we were up against another 74 Mankeys, right? So we also killed about that number, okay? So, and these losses are pretty much straight up losses. That being said, most of these losses are us killing ourselves. Still. Which is a little infuriating. I really do not like that. But we only have so many options on what to do about it. Dunes of Death is a victory for us. Let's look at Vertlin. So Vertlin is where we sent our little lone kimono to attack because it said there are no units in the province. Well, since there's a battle, obviously there are some units in the province. And they're not even, like, glamored, stealthy units. Like, what? Okay, game. So, let's see how this works out. I'm gonna tell you how it works out. We have very few Ghastlies versus a Hitmonchan and, like, 2 Pidgeys. So, we lose. Which is annoying. But it's whatever. It's, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. So that is province defense. I don't know why the tag says that there's no units there. It still says that the province is free of military units. Okay. Maybe I guess the PD is just so low that it doesn't register, maybe. And then we have a battle in Dunster. So this is the combined raiding force that is actually mostly Haunters at this point, versus the force that repelled us last time, which has not moved. Nor did the big-ass army. So, unlike last time, we only had like 17 or so units. This time we have closer to 40. Many of them are upgraded units. We run forward. They are incapable of really doing too much damage to us. We are very capable of doing a lot of damage to them. GG. We lost 1 Ghastly and 1 Haunter in Dunster. And pretty easy fight. Okay, so 2 out of 3 victories. I'll take it. Not bad. We had an unexpected event. It's not unexpected at this point. If you site search, you're going to get smacked. We kill it. No big deal. Another unexpected event. New trade routes have been opened in the Small Sea. So this is province income plus 10. This is great. Love those. We got a Sling of Accuracy in the Sea of Woe. And we got 6 Death Gems in the Sea of Woe. Very nice. And 10 units were promoted primarily in Dunster. Okay, let's be straight up. Let's talk about this. It looks like Cyanwood City hasn't moved in the last 2 turns. Okay. I don't know if... I have not heard anything. They have not posted anything in the game's Discord channel for 4 days, which is about the last 2 turns. They have said nothing about needing an extension. They have said nothing about having an emergency. They've said nothing about a sub, as far as I'm aware. And they've said nothing about going AI. So, I don't know if... I would assume, I could be wrong. Who knows, right? But I would assume that they have just quit. These things happen. It's unfortunate. It's annoying. But it's also like, this is also the time in my Tetragrammaton game where one person just went AI and another person just subbed because he got attacked by me and another guy. So it's kind of like I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, all right, multiplayer Dominions community. Oh. Ugh. Okay. So, what does that mean for us? Well, it means hopefully an easy victory. It does still mean that his god is incredibly intimidating, and now it means that his god's not moving around. Potentially. So, we're just gonna avoid his god. That's what the majority of these movements are. We have Kimono 6. Since we can't actually attack Vertland, there are units there. Kimono 6 is going to run around and start picking up units in Cyanwood City territory. Kimono 4 is going to head up towards Swamp of Solitude and Vertland. Maybe, right? I'm just positioning to be able to counter things or move against things, etc. And in the meanwhile, Kimono 9, Kimono 12, 11, 2, and 3, they are bringing all of their forces, which is close to, I think, 350 units towards Cyanwood City. So we're going to hit Larian Swamps next turn, then Greenwoods, depending on what happens, and then Cyanwood City. So we should be in Cyanwood City on turn 21. Here's the issue, and we know this as an issue, is we have shitty siege strength. Like, even all of these units put together is just over 100 siege strength, so this is still going to take a while to crack. I guess if I bring in these, we're closer to like 250. We are bringing in units behind as well with Kimono 8, and we'll continue to do our little triangle of resupply. We're having a bad turn with our mediums, where we have a bunch of people that are ignoring orders, basically, because of insanity. So that's frustrating. But we are making some other good progress here. We have one more turn on our fortified village in the Second Forest. We're building a temple there with Red Chan. So it'll be turn 19, and we will have 5 fortifications, 5 temples. That's not bad. And then we'll actually be looking at Haunted Woods as an opportunity to build there. We're also looking at Istria as an opportunity to build because it does have schoolgirls, and schoolgirls are kind of this situation where they're better than our researchers and they're cheaper. Or they're not better, but they're more efficient for me. Especially since gold is an issue. So we're basically going to try to take Cyanwood City's cap without dealing with their god. Or at least without dealing with their god directly or immediately. If they do not move, if they've gone AI, then we might bring an army down here eventually to try to deal with it. If it goes into our dominion, we might try to bring our god over to deal with it. But if they're... I am fine leaving this as kind of like a weird hazard. I'm also fine just dom killing the guy. Like, I'm fine taking over Cyanwood City, taking over Swamp of Solitude and Vertlin, and then just dom killing Ban Kish, and then taking the province. Like, that does not bother me at all. I don't know how... I think that would probably be a little difficult with this god just sitting in the province, but it shouldn't be impossible. But mostly what I'm worried about now is making sure I get Cyanwood City, taking care of that, and trying to keep that income pure, unadulterated, basically. Keep my scales away from Cyanwood City, and try to just make sure I have enough forces in the area to defend it. We'll see how it goes, though. It's probably an unrealistic expectation. Especially if I start taking thrones, which I think is kind of the next big look, right? Two options are after I finish off Cyanwood City, it's determining what's going on with Olivine, and it's looking into this southeast direction, and then it's thrones, right? Continuing to support my infrastructure, trying to focus more on research with that infrastructure, and seeing how far we can get before we crap out on money, right? Basically is the issue there. We can grow pretty massive armies, but eventually we're going to hit this weird money sink issue. Oh, well, I will say this. Another thing that we're definitely going to do, hopefully in the near future, we might actually just hit Enchantment 4 and then break off of Enchantment 5. It depends. We're probably going to go for Construction 4, start producing Skull Mentors. I'm not going to put that in right now because it's going to take us 3 turns to even get through Enchantment 3, right? But producing Skull Mentors and utilizing them to boost our research will probably help. Also, going into things like Thaumaturgy and getting champions might help. The problem with that is I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to go up Thaumaturgy to be able to get like Crystal Gengars and things like that. Or just shiny Gengars is what they are. But I also really feel like sooner rather than later, we need to make the push for Conjuration. Like, we need to head to Well of Misery and try to get to Tarts. Because if we don't, I don't think we survive the mid game. The mid to late game, at least. So, my plan, I think, for after hitting Cyanwood City, or if I can take Cyanwood City, is to post up, be a 2-cap nation, let things go, exert influence where I can, maybe snag some, like if Viridian gets in trouble, maybe snag some Viridian lands, whoever's down here, maybe snag some of this borderland, and try to establish myself as maybe a 3rd or 4th primary power between Azalea City, Olivine City, Mahogany City, and myself. and then try to do the research push to tarts and see how that works. And then if we hit tarts, like legitimately, if we hit tarts, I think with my god we can transition from tarts to freaking, my mind is blanking, to astral, right? And you know, go into, I don't know, maybe Maelstrom or wish spams, things like that. So that's thinking of a really late game. I don't necessarily think that I get there. I think that I probably finish off Cyanwood, and I think Azalea comes at me eventually, or maybe Olivine is being piloted by Onard, and I don't know if Onard and I have kind of like this unspoken peace agreement because this is the third game that I've played in him with, and we tend to kind of like avoid each other. I don't know. We'll see though. He's very threatening in this particular game, but Azalea is definitely the nation that can just obliterate me. They're the big problem for me. Off the back of being able to, like, I mean, they have dozens of answers to me, but just producing Yanmas, like, very cheap, very economical option for him. Just produce, 50, 100 Yanmas and send them into my territory. It's done. I can't kill that. I literally can't kill that. There's nothing I can do to stop that. I guess maybe my god, if I can get to construction 4, my god might be able to like super combatant that, like get a vine shield and some regeneration, get like an actual like weapon, like a ice brand or something like that to be able to do some AoE damage. Maybe my god could super combatant that, but I don't know about that. We don't have any nature gems, right? How are we gonna accomplish that? I guess I need to start sending my god out and site searching, don't I? It's just he's so much research right now. I think we have to keep him on research at the moment. But as we get more researching happening from Second Forest and hopefully from Haunted Woods, or maybe I just pop into like Golamrod and I'm just like, okay, we're gonna just gonna put some stuff down. I do not know about this nation. This nation feels very wonky. Feels paper thin. It feels oof. And I say that having like run over the nation that I played last game and was in the top 2 with, right? But it's just different matchups, different matchups, different scenarios. And honestly, I think Cyan would probably could have fought me, but it looks like they just quit. Alright, that's going to be it for the turn. Not a super exciting turn. Actually, kind of a glum turn for me. We're moving around in all these different locations. It'll be fine. It will be okay. But, kind of a glum turn to find out that Cyanwood, or it looks like Cyanwood, is not really moving. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.